everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about Tash Hearts Tolstoy by Kathryn Omsbee. I got it from NetGalley. You did too, right?
I think so.
So we read it off of NetGalley. And basically this is about Tash and her best friend. They've started a web series that modernizes Anna Karenina. I can never say it. Karenina. Whatever, that book. And while they have always had a standard following, it wasn't until a mention from a more famous blog that they begin to go viral. Tash leans on her connection / crush with another vlogger to kind of get through this new popularity. However, her everyday life kind of starts slipping. She's not able to balance kind of her new fame with what's going on in her family because, her sister's getting ready to go off to college. New surprise in her personal family. There's some kind of personal issues in her best friend's family. So there's a lot kind of going on around this story and this fame.
Yes.
I don't think I really missed anything there.
Well, so you didn't mention, though, like the big, one of the big things that are being touted about this book is that Tash, because it's Natasha, Tash, is asexual. Which I thought was the only interesting part of the book, and I felt like it got ignored.
See, they are touting it as one of the major parts of the book, or as like kind of one of what makes it unique, what makes it, like, why it's in the market. And it's such a secondary layer.
It's not even mentioned until like 60 or 70 pages, because I was looking for it. And I feel like she totally lost this major opportunity to talk about this, because I don't really know anything about asexuality.
I don't either, and
there is a kid out there who needs a book that they can see themselves in.
Well, but the thing is, they give she 60 pages in, she only gives like a dictionary definition. Like, the character hasn't even kind of come to terms with it herself, or at least it doesn't seem that way. And so it doesn't really get explored at all because we're kind of like learning about her relationship, like her crushes on two boys, right, essentially. And the thing is, by the time she gets to the point where she's describing her sexuality, I don't give a crap because I don't like these characters.
At first I was like, I don't like the cover.
No, see, I like the cover. Like, I was totally psyched about reading this book, not knowing what it was about at all. Like, only just that, like, they got famous on a vlog, which was totally unrealistic in this anyway. But the cover I like. The pink and the black and the Tolstoy.
See, and I was like, with the cover. I feel like it was two separate books mushed together. I think there should have been a book about the vlog and the vlog taking off. And then I feel like there should have been a book about the asexuality, or it needed to be blended better.
It needed to be blended better, I think.
Because it just did not work for me. And no, I didn't care. At no point did I care about any of them.
Well, and I was just having trouble with, like, considering, like, we do a vlog. Like, and she's, like, talking about the numbers and, like, talking how this popularity goes. I'm like, nah.
Well, I was like, I'm like, okay, that's like a fantasy, and I don't know, maybe those kinds of, because it was like a web series, so maybe they do take off that part. I don't know. I never paid any attention.
No, I guess I just meant like kind of just the foundation of kind of the premise of the vlog and their web series and all of that. The numbers just didn't add up. They had 50 billion followers before they got a shout out. I'm obviously, like, being hyperbolic here, but they had, like, 50 billion followers before they blew up, and, like, it just didn't, but they were only getting so many hits.
I thought they had, like, 500 followers. I don't remember. I thought they didn't have, like, a huge amount.
It was just unreal, is what it felt like.
So the thing that was really, and I don't know why this bugged me so much, and maybe it's because I have traveled, but she checks into a hotel by herself when she's 17.
Right,
you can't do that. I've never seen anywhere where you could do that. And I think that these are all things that if I loved the book, I'd be like, I don't care, whatever. But since I didn't connect to the characters, I was just like, this isn't right.
The only character I connected to was Paul, and he wasn't really there very much. I mean, he was like one of the main characters, but like he wasn't there enough to kind of keep me connected. And like the best friend, Jack, it was really kind of hard to keep track of who she was versus who the other people were on the like miniseries kind of crew. But also she was just so nasty.
They were all mean.
That was like part of her character, but like it wasn't endearing to me. No. It was just nasty.
We should rate it.
Yeah, we should just rate this. I'm sorry. I really wanted to read this book too. Okay. So our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns, and if it wasn't all that great, it's a horse because it doesn't deserve a horn. So what are you going to give this book?
I'm giving it 2 unicorns because I did think that the web series aspect is interesting, and they did try with the asexual thing. I would like to read a really well-developed book about an asexual teen. I think that would be interesting, but yeah, that's where I am.
I'm giving it 2 unicorns as well. I think that I want to kind of encourage more writers to write about asexuality because it really doesn't come up in many other books, or none that I've come across. I just don't like the story at all. So, but I still think that there was something unique, something that needs to be kind of out there, because, somebody will connect to it. Somebody will at least kind of make those new considerations.
Yes. That is where we are.
So, see ya.
Yep. Bye.